Good morning, Suburban Prepper. How you doing? I'm on my way to work, and I was reviewing some of my videos that I've been making, and I realized I'm limited by land on the type of videos that I like to make, especially my shooting videos, because I live in the suburbs, and I don't have a piece of land out in the country where I can go out shooting the way I like, shoot at night using my night vision in the truest sense, and make good videos, good educational videos about my time out. Anyway, around here there's not land to go shoot on during the day. A farmer won't let who the farmers are. It's such a small town now that it used to be smaller. You just can't go shooting on somebody's property, even if it's considered farmland now, because 100 meters over, there's a subdivision. But yeah, I'm guilty of living in one of those subdivisions, thinking, oh, this will be it. No, what used to be a cornfield became a subdivision to the left of me and to the north of me. And now they're building storage bins for people's shit that won't fit in their houses. What I'm going to need is some land where I can make those kind of videos that I like to make. Get away with it. Shooting in a high rate of fire. And till then, I think I'm not making the videos that I should be making. Let's face it. In the Army, I did a lot of night operations. That's what I was used to. Yeah, we did day operations too, but night stuff. I'm used to walking around at night with night vision, flying around at night with night vision. So, what am I going to do? I wait till I save up and buy some land, I guess. But I know how to make the good night videos, good training night videos, because I have the gear and supplies from a layman's person to do it. I mean, I have military CPR training mannequins, the heavy ones. That I have all this nice, cool gear, but it looks sort of corny doing it in my backyard. Every time I look past a piece of land, I'm thinking, wow, that would be a nice addition, or I could make some nice videos. And the thing is, it could also become my bug out location. We always preppers talk about having a bug out location, and that would be easily amendable to make it a bug out location. So what I would envision doing is, don't want to hit the guy. What I would envision doing is getting one of those containers, steel containers, whatever color, whatever metal they are, the ones that are on back of trucks or trains, and that they sell, and having a couple of those put in on my land strategically, hopefully covered by a wood forest, as to make them more camouflaged. And I would slowly build a bug out location fueled by solar. This is where a portable solar system like my 2,000-watt inverter system would just be handy. I can have it right on top of the roof, wired down inside the structure. No, I wouldn't. I would not put a one of those things in the ground. They weren't meant to be in the ground. They weren't pressure built for that. Although there are companies that do underground prepper buildings, survival buildings. If I had Mr. Beast's money, I would do that in a heartbeat. On top of what I normally have, but reality being, I'm just a new YouTuber. I don't have that kind of money. I got the ideas. I've had these scenarios in and out of my house or home, not house. I've had these scenarios in and out of my brain all the time. I like to make prepper survival videos geared towards, well, let's just be honest, suburbs, urban, and rural. I like to incorporate all of it. My limitations are I don't live in subtropical areas where I can plant things year round, okay, where I can rotate crops and grow cold crops in the winter where it wouldn't get below freezing. I don't have greenhouses where I can grow things in a greenhouse all year long. That would be another thing that I would do if I could appeal to my audience. I would make the hell out of some cropping with some greenhouses. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to get in a rush and get hit by somebody. I'm a pretty smooth operator when it comes to driving. I drive rather slow. And at the same time, it would be a nice place for people in my prepper group to come and train, because that would be their bug out location too. It wouldn't just be my family. It would be a bug out location for the mutual assistance group that I'd want. If you have a place to go, if you have the buildings to put it and have a way to secure it, they will come. So yeah, that would be something I'd like to do. So I'm going back to creating a mutual assistance group. And I'm working on a video about how to find someone, tips to see if someone's a prepper without really asking them. Somewhat humorously and somewhat seriously. Because some people are dead giveaways when it comes to being preppers. Others are more discreet. Personally, I prefer the ones that are more discreet. But I'm always looking out for fellow preppers. All shapes and all sizes. As long as we don't prep against each other, so to speak. I welcome diversity. And I think all of us should. It doesn't mean I have to agree with something. But everybody has a right to live. Even in the unborn. So, there I am. So I was getting an eye examination done. Preppers, while you can, while the times are good, make sure you have your teeth taken care of and your eyes taken care of. Okay, that's an appeal. Because if shit hits the fan, I'm not an eye doctor. And at most, I can extract a tooth. An an abscess, a dental abscess. That's the most I can do. I don't know how to do root canals. That's just from being a combat medic, having to do that once to an Afghan soldier. So dentists are best to do that. So during peacetime, during good times, some people are so impatient. Get your teeth taken care of, get your family's teeth taken care of, and get your eyes taken care of. So important. Oh yeah, I was at the getting an eye exam done at the clinic. Excuse me. We can get glasses there. And the guy tells me about how one of his buddies owns a company somewhere in the Southwest that builds those in-ground shelters. I'm like, man, I would like to get that. One of those underground shelters. But here's the truth of it. I would have to have solar. Don't mind that. That's just my blood sugar is probably high from eating breakfast. I usually don't eat breakfast like I should. Just figure this out, and it's already done. So I don't really look at the phone while I'm driving. I mean, I don't talk and drive. I don't hand talk and drive. How about that? Obviously, I'm talking and driving. I'm not slow. Excuse me. So I was watching a video yesterday. I watch these videos about these YouTube gurus and tips to make your YouTube channel better. And a lot of these YouTube gurus are saying to make more natural videos. And I thought to myself, well, the only way I can make more natural videos, obviously, is outside. And I'm more natural outside, obviously, versus making them in my basement, which I could still do. But doing it outside. So yesterday, I wanted to make a video about my 3 month, how my garden's doing in 3 months, and 5 things that preppers do wrong with their gardens. It came out half baked, honestly. I didn't have a script. I had an idea, but it was still a decent video. I wanted to show off my garden and make a video doing it. But imagine if I had a bug out location, I could have a garden 3 times that size. I could have trees growing with plums and apples and other fruits that can grow in this area. And I can use those fruit trees as camouflage because right now, I'm not going to have my prepper area fenced in case we need to hunt. You don't want to have that blocked from deer or turkey get going on your property. You want to keep it open. But at the same time, you don't want the 2-legged critters snooping through your stuff when you're not there. So it's a big appeal. Oh my God. Well, 1, I got to get the land. 2, I got to start planting some trees. 3, I got to level the land for planting crops. 4, I got to put the buildings in there. 5, I got to wire them. You know what I would love to do? And I would not do it myself, obviously. I'm not. Is have a well. I mean, my area that I live here in Northwest Indiana is at any point you're 5 miles from the lake. So you know that there's underground water everywhere. Well water. Some people don't like well water, okay, because it's got too many elements. But when shit hits the fan, that well water is the stuff that keeps you alive. I don't know what they charge to create a permanent well, and I would have it enclosed. I don't want it to freeze outside. It'd be inside a building to have that well or something. Whatever out in the country, I guess it don't matter. A lot of traffic out today for a Friday. And that's okay because it's a Friday. Mostly Illinois plates. I have to say. So the reason why is you have a lot of Illinois people that go to our public schools in Indiana and they lie about where the kids live because they can get better schools here. Of course, I'm paying for it with my tax money. And they're not paying for it with theirs. So there's more traffic here. I had some some rice and some lima beans to eat today. That damn noise. Let's just see what my sugar says it is. $262. So here's the situation behind that. I went into heart failure 2 years ago, almost. Oh my God. 2023, September, went into heart failure. And after I went into heart failure, I turned into a full-blown type 2 diabetic. For a few months, I required insulin. I got myself off insulin. I gave up a lot of junk that I used to eat. Well, my bad boy culprit was Diet Coke. I gave it up. I'll have one every blue moon, literally, like maybe 2 drinks a month, Diet Coke. And that's usually when I go out to dinner. If I forget to ask for just water, uh, I really just sip at it, bring the food down. But drinking soda, not good for your kidneys, not good for your liver, not good for your overall health. And no, it doesn't, Diet Coke doesn't raise your blood sugar, okay? But it messes up everything else where your blood sugar is going to get raised. It messes up the gut flora, messes up I believe it messes up the thyroid. There's a good Bubba out there. Anyway, so I gave up Diet Coke. And I feel so much better doing it. Now, every blue moon, I'll have to have one, okay? The other thing that I gave up, now this is on me, okay? I'm not preaching. I don't enjoy the smell of alcohol anymore. And it's not for any religious reason. I literally cannot stand the smell of alcohol. Now, having said that, I still love the taste of a shot of Maker's Mark in my mouth, or a sip of Maker's Mark going down my throat. I can't stand the smell of it. But man, I'm going to be honest with you, I still love the taste of it. I haven't had a shot like that in years, but that burning then when it goes down the throat and getting a little elated from a shot of Maker's Mark, any Kentucky bourbon would do me in just fine, thank you. But I can't stand the smell of it, so I can't stand the smell of beer. And a glass of wine, maybe twice a year now. I can't stand the way most wine tastes. And I can't describe to you what I would like my wine to taste like. Sweet, dry, red, white, fruity. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I remember when I was a kid back in church, it had the wine to drink. A little sip would just fill me with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Anyway. So, yeah. And here it is. I'm looking through this land right now. And these people, they have all this land on their property. And they can make all the cool videos they want, go shooting all they want. And yet here, There's a state land over here up to my left as I drive to work. Unopened, beautiful state land. At least it's preserved. But you can't go on there and shoot and stuff. You get in trouble. It's like, what the hell does the state own it for? So I digress. The only way I'm going to solve this dilemma is people would donate by doing that. Send me a cup of coffee thing. If people would do the donation thing on YouTube, and I could build up, get that land and make those cool ass videos that I want to make, that people want to watch. I have all the gear for it. I have the night thermals, I have the night vision. I have two IR lasers. If I have a place to shoot them at, I have a way to record them, a good way to record them. I just don't have the land to do it. I can make patrol videos. I think we could even practice doing close quarters training if I had buildings that we could practice in as a prepper survival group, but I don't have that. And let's just be honest, it's not going to be cheap. At least $50,000, $60,000 for that kind of land and that property on that land. Because if I'm going to have a place to shoot, just to be safe, I'm going to have a nice tall berm built that I would always shoot under it, regardless. Whichever direction I was shooting in, there'd be a berm. So bullets will only go into the berm or the target that I'm shooting into, and nowhere past the target. So I would have to have that taken care of, which is more dirt brought in or raised up. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to build a little berm of soil, and using natural things found in nature. I wouldn't want to put a bunch of debris, carcinogenic debris into my area. So it is something that would require some work. What I would love to have, and realistically, okay, is just being realistic. If I could go out 200-300 yards to shoot my 50 cal. Now, obviously, a 50 cal shoots further than 300 yards, but having 3 football fields worth of land, not exactly cheap. I'm not Mr. Beast. I might become Mr. Beast someday. But those are the kind of videos I'd like to make. I'd like to be able to do drone videos over my land using thermal optics in the drone and searching for an object and so forth, doing that on my property. Did you know you don't own the airspace above your property? And I want one entity to have control over that, honestly. I don't want local, state, and federal agencies all controlling the same airspace. But that's how they do it, apparently, based on the how high off the ground you are. And now people are realizing how they can't want to ban them. But I would never. I wouldn't want to weaponize it. Drones have their place in prepping. Now, obviously, any device can be used as an offensive weapon. This vehicle could be used as an offensive weapon. We're going to ban this vehicle? No. I would never arm a drone. One, I don't have that kind of money to arm something because the lowest, and it's the lowest price drone that worth its weight anywhere, honestly, is over $500. It becomes a kamikaze mission. And I don't have Mr. Beast money. So, no, don't worry about that. I would never even make a video like that. If anything, I would make a video where I could locate someone who's lost, fly out the drone, give them some medical supplies or some rations to survive, or whatever they would need to keep warm. Find a way to put a speaker on the drone so I could communicate with them, and that way help would know where to go, or we could keep them safe until it was safe to rescue them. I don't like to think of how I can make someone's life shittier, like I'm going to do right now, because this guy's just going so slow, and I don't have enough. I'm trying to turn up here. All right, just be nice, Patrick. My goal in life, honestly, as a medical person, as a Christian Catholic, is try to make people's life better. Oh, got to watch out for those buses now. School year. What do you think, folks? Anyway, back to my YouTube video. I like to watch these videos about these YouTube gurus that make videos about how to make better videos on YouTube. And I've learned a lot from watching them. Okay. How to make better. I mean, the most important thing that you need is a good title and they say, and you got to always work on your content. Well, during my live streams, it's content that's coming right out my ass here, as you can see. I do minimal editing with my recorded videos, so it's hit or miss, honestly. Like last night, I did 2 takes on my hook line for my garden video, and I cut out the pauses, like in between sentences when I come to think of something. I go like that, and I pause for a second. That's an eerie 2 or 3 second pause that people would just want to turn it off. So I've learned not to do that. Or take that deep breath in to talk again. That takes a while. I just cut that stuff out. Other than that, even if I fumble my words a little bit, I'll leave it in there. Drinking some coffee this morning. Anyway, back to the video. I keep digressing, as it were. So they highlighted a fella who works at a 30-some-year-old that works in retail, some type of, I think, gas station store. And he makes videos or some type of retail like that. And the dude records his day making those videos, and he posts them, minimal editing. And he posted one video about how he needed some money to help make a home or something. And his subscribers sent him thousands of dollars to do something. Like, that's just an average guy making really average videos, but they're realistic and to the heart. And his customers or those watchers or those viewers took it to heart and they helped him. So I figured, what have I got to lose? If anyone listened to this video this far in the end, that's what I'm doing, making an appeal. I need land to make better videos. to build a bug out location for fellow preppers in my area. And sadly, too, for non-preppers that sort of get attached to the hip. Because it's honestly, at my bug out location, it's going to be hard to say no to people. We might have to, but you have to contribute. And there's more than one way to contribute. If I do have a bug out location like that. Anyway, and no, nothing dirty minded. I'm not a dirty minded person. I'm talking building up the prepping area, working on specific crafts, or if you're an expert on something, bringing your expertise to the table. Too often we just have bad thoughts about stuff anytime people talk about anything other than bartering, sexual connotations with that. I don't go down that road. I'm following this guy. He's hauling around some stuff. I almost bumped out of the truck. So there you have it. In the meantime, I'm making videos in my backyard, my basement. Do they work? Well, I mean, I've gotten some, I think over 40,000 views with certain videos now that seem to work. And some just bomb. I mean, that's okay. Some of my topics, I did a poll on my community posts about what kind of other videos people want to see. And a lot of them, over half or way over half, responded they want to see more alternative medicine videos. And that's not something I make outside. I do my medicine videos in my basement. And the products that I talk about, the herbals that I talk about, you purchase them on Amazon. It's nearly impossible to grow herbals of any benefit substantially in a urban or suburban prepper garden, depending on where you live at. Some stuff needs to grow in the cold, some needs to grow in the really hot. Some have a long growing season in the hot. You can't make a crop grow somewhere when you don't have the environment for it to grow in. The exception being, again, if I had greenhouses at my bug out location, we could do that. Excuse me. I don't know where that railroad goes. It goes to nowhere. There's a railroad. It comes from a nice tall plant where they do something. And then it goes across the street, but that part's always closed. And the rail ends. Maybe back in the day they had some commerce going there. But every once in a while that railroad is bing, 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 and there's no tracks. I'm wondering if it's just like a ghost railroad train. So, as far as medical videos go, slowly working on making a video about all the medical supplies that you can get off Amazon. Alternatively, there are medical supplies you can get off eBay. I'm discovering. And you can get more intensive medical supplies off eBay than Amazon, like people selling stuff on eBay that you couldn't sell on Amazon for various reasons. Now, quick story about my solar system, okay? I had a SunPower system. I still have it. The solar panels work great, but there's a misconnect where the inverter and the batteries go. And so the batteries aren't storing anything. And SunPower went bankrupt last year, okay, bastards. So there's no coverage for SunPower products anymore. We're out on our own. But there's people on eBay selling these products that they're not using any longer. And I needed one of those products, a piece to fix my panel system so I can reuse my batteries again. And then everything will be back to normal. And so then I'm forcing myself to learn more about full home solar systems. Okay, this isn't your 2,000 watt system. This is 26,000 watt system with 2 large inverters, communicating through a phone. And you can see on the app how much the panels are generating, selling back to the grid and all that kind of stuff. I'm learning all that. This is way beyond a portable solar panel system. But I'm learning it. And I'm learning where there's guys on eBay, probably girls too, they're actually selling a lot of these products that I plan to accumulate as to have a backup for my system. It's 8 o'clock. I'm running a little bit late today, but it's a Friday. And guess what? It's Friday. So, and then I learned this, I discovered that there's a Reddit. On Reddit, there's a bunch of people that post stuff on how to do these videos, or not videos, how to fix stuff on SunPower. And there's a Reddit read, I don't know, and I discovered it, and I've been a member of Reddit for a while, mostly related to prepping and military stuff. So I joined Reddit. What I plan on doing is anything that's of decent value on Reddit that provides some good information about my solar system, I'm going to print that off and put it in a folder as reference. So if I sell this house eventually, the next owner will have all the necessary tools and backups and persons that they can go to if they ever have any problems, which I don't anticipate. And then I'm learning that the solar panel company, which was not SunPower, it was a different company called Enphase. They've taken over a part where you can get their system to replace the SunPower brain system to keep your solar system running and use their app and all that. I haven't called them yet, but that's something I'm going to look into as well. Basically, there are the components to a home system like what I have is panels, okay? And the panels have these mini inverters with on them, but you got to have the main inverters downstairs. You got to have the batteries. You got to have this communication grid where it runs everything, and you got to have emergency shutoffs. So there's a defunct piece of communications equipment, something called an MIDI or MIDI. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even know how to open up my batteries to see what the hell was going on. I do now, and I watched the gentleman go through everything. So there be it. Well, today's Friday, and it's going to be a real busy day here at work. Why? Because I already know how many patients I have. But then again, it is Friday, and a lot of patients no show. So I want everybody to have a blessed day. This is my new end phrase for everything. Okay, this is survival. This is resilience. This